Hey everyone, so Killer Klowns has been out for just over a year now. I did play early access, and I got early access because I was a content creator as well. So I played this game for quite a long time, honestly, and it had so much potential, it really did. And in this video, we're going to talk about that and obviously the new anniversary update that just came out for the 1 year anniversary of the game. And we're going to go through the patch notes. You know, there wasn't a lot, so, you know, the patch notes won't take too long to talk about. And just give you my thoughts on the current state of the game, if it has a future and all that stuff. And, you know, I'm just going to start off by saying that this game had a ton of potential before the game come out. You know, sitting there playing with the likes of Slash and Cast and stuff, all these other content creators before the game was even to public knowledge, or, you know, being able to actually get their hands on it. You know, just having all that and experience that is always the most fun in these ASIM games, honestly, because you play the game, you're like, okay, you can see the problems, but you can also see the potential here and how fun the game can really be. And, you know, those are always the best moments. It was the same with Evil Dead and that beta on Xbox. That was so much fun. Transition to when the game actually goes live, the metas get discovered, and, you know, people start doing all the broken stuff. That's when things become a real problem with these games, and that's usually when these games decline, but we'll get into that. So let's go over the patch notes for the anniversary update first. Now, I'm on the anniversary update page right now, and when you're scrolling through it, like, the first thing that comes up is, you know, don't forget to take advantage of the double XP. There's double XP going on right now, and there's Twitch drops for the game, which, you know, is good. However, just after that, the first thing that we see is a new Killer Clown, which is Dolly. And, you know, it's an anniversary update, and the first thing they're putting in here is, you know, hey, spend money. I get it, you know, you need to fund the game. The skin is cool, you know, I don't think they rip people off or anything, but to me, this game became like a bare minimum working game that they can get cash from with all these skins that they keep putting in the game. Like, I have an issue with this, that there's just so many skins being put into the game. So they have now available in the store. You can get all the pre-order stuff now. You can get Debbie Stone, you can get Mike Tobacco, you can get the Towel cosmetics as well. They were all like Dulux editions, pre-order Dulux edition exclusives and stuff. And there's loads of clowns like Slim, Bibbo, Frank. Frank, I believe, was the clown that only came with the physical edition in the US. You couldn't even get it in Europe, so that was kind of weird. And that was like one of the last videos I did on Killer Klowns, was talking about that, and I was like, yeah, that's not really a good look, honestly. We got Magori, Hot Diggity Dog, Sundays, Frizo, Meat, Stack, and Cheesy. So all the cosmetics that basically were pre-order bonuses and pre-order exclusives are now available in the store, which, it's fine, you know, it's the 1 year anniversary, and understand all that. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh man, I've got my exclusivity taken away because I you know, I pre-ordered the game. I didn't pre-order the game, you know, I got it from Ilphonic. So you know, I'm not really too bothered about that. It's not like, again, I'm gonna compare it back to Evil Dead. I think it was 2 months before the pre-order bonuses went into the store. That was kind of problematic. Only 2 months of exclusivity on those skins, which was Army of Darkness Ash, his Gallant Knight outfit, and his Housewares one, I think. I want to say. Anyway, moving on. The next thing they've added is spacesuits for the clowns as well. There's a whole pack for the spacesuits. Again, something else that's going into the store. Just a ton of cosmetics for this anniversary update. The spacesuits are nice. I haven't bought them personally. I'm broke, so I can't buy any of these skins. I've got most of these skins already, but yeah, as much as I like them, you know, I'm not gonna drop the money on them, because the thing is, as they say, even in this anniversary update, these items are purely cosmetic and do not affect gameplay, and that's the big problem here. Is now we're gonna move on to what else they put into the update real quick. So they put new challenges in. They've introduced 12 new challenges books for humans and clown players. That's over 80 new challenges in total. Accompanied by these new challenges books is over 40 new cosmetics, as well as XP rewards to help you level up. Now, the XP rewards are mainly on the human side. The humans actually, I believe, only get the gold cosmetic from what I've seen on the challenges. Everything was XP oriented. On the clown side, however, there is new challenges for new cosmetics there. So this update is very clown-sided, like hugely clown-sided for cosmetics and everything, and new challenges and stuff. which again is another problem. They should be doing a balance of an update here where, you know, both sides get equal amounts. They added the really cool new clown tally actually, which was the Clownzilla one. You guys have probably seen it. It's a really cool clown tally. Now, for them to go to the effort of actually making the Clownzilla model, I could potentially see Clownzilla being shrunken down and being a playable clown at some point. And I'm pretty sure that'll be a cosmetic for everybody. So moving on to the actual patch balance notes. Humans, all they got was an increased speed in their walking and crouching, as well as reduced energy drink spawn count. Haven't really noticed that, to be honest. I've been playing a ton of games since the anniversary update. I'm still finding energy drinks all over the place. And reduced popsicle spawn count. I'm not even joking here or exaggerating. I played on the mall map last night. All I found was a shotgun, some bullets, and literally everywhere I went, every single container, everything I ran past, there was a popsicle. There was literally about 100 popsicles on the map, and that's all I found was a shotgun and some popsicles. So those item spawn adjustments don't seem have been effective at all, in my opinion. Moving on to the clown side of things. So that's all human got, by the way. People were probably expecting it's the anniversary update. It's going to be a big patch. I think the patch was like 1.8 gigabyte on Xbox. And that's Xbox. Xbox always has like the highest amount of gigabytes on the updates. It was probably like 800 megabyte on PlayStation or something like that. So yeah, it's disappointing. The clown, we were all expecting to get, you know, new classes, new weapons potentially. And yeah, that's all they did for balance, really, and updating the gameplay. Like they said, I don't know, on the social media, they kept like saying, oh, we're really making some big changes to gameplay and balance, and it's just not happened at all. Apart from on the clown side, so let's get into this. So they've increased the base stamina for all the clowns. They fixed an exploit where clown players could use the emote wheel to cancel the recovery frames after an attack. The Jawbreaker mace has been nerfed, basically, which is, you know, good. I think the mace was a problem. To be honest, I always thought the Gobstopper flail was way better than the mace, and a lot more people are using the Gobstopper flail now, but that's always been my go-to weapon, and the main reason being because it has a little bit of range to it as well. So, and not only that, but the secondary can actually track humans and do quite a lot of damage, so the Gobstopper flail has always been my favorite weapon to use in this game. But yeah, I suppose it's good they nerfed the mace. I seen them when I came back to the game. I seen a lot of people using that. So, so the clown trick, LOL. Now let's talk about this. So they've increased the duration. They've increased the movement speed, so you run super fast. It takes like a lot less to cast it now, and they've increased the self-healing of it. This thing has been way overtuned, like, to the point where it's just total easy mode for a clown to get anybody, especially if you've got the Gobstopper flail, like I mentioned before. Sure, you know, everybody has the argument about, like, oh man, you know, I've got to chase after a human with an energy drink. I've never had that problem, personally. Playing as a clown, you know, I have had a problem where I'm chasing people with energy drinks, but there's ways to cut them off, you know, doing a good clown jump, you know, that's a good prediction to get them. I've done that so many times, and I've managed to get people who have popped energy drinks no problem. You've got the car there. Use the car. You can run them down as well if you're that bored about energy drinks. I don't think LOL needed buff this much. Sure, like, in an ideal world, I think LOL would have worked like an energy drink, if that makes sense. So you instantly get your stamina back so you can sprint a little bit more. Maybe he's increased the duration as well so it lasts as long as an energy drink, but you know, increasing the movement speed even further, and the extra, I mean, they didn't increase the damage at least, of, you know, I think that would have been OP, but, you know, now it's just a click to win button, I would say, in the game. It's very problematic. It's taken away the fun aspect of the game a lot, and this happened on TCM a lot as well. To me, you know, they're buffing up these movement speeds. They're not doing a damage debuff thing. Look at, like, I always say that Scout was a problem when that got buffed, and they took away the debuff of damage. It just made Family so fucking easy to play. Like, it just made it so easy. You didn't have any negative damage effects. You could put Scout on with, like, high damage and, like, 3-shot people, and it was just so easy. And it became stale. You know, it just didn't have any kind of, like, skill to it, I guess. And the same thing goes for this now, where you just pop this and you're just going to annihilate anybody with it, really. There's no real way to get away from it. There's, you know, you can fight against it, I guess, as human, but it's like unfun on both sides now, honestly. You know, humans a bit of a mess trying to deal with these clowns lately because of just a ton of other stuff, but yeah, I definitely enjoy playing clown a lot more than playing human now, just because of this change. Moving on to the clown trick, the clown jump. So they've reduced the unlock time so you can clown jump really quick, and they've reduced the cooldown as well so you can do it more frequently. So that was a good, nice little change for the clown jump. This is why I was saying you didn't really necessarily have to buff the LOL ability up so much when you've buffed up the clown jump as well. And then moving on to the next one, cocooning and hooking adjustments as well for the human, for the clowns. So cocooning a human, they increased cocooning humans point rewards, they've increased the assist point rewards as well. You know, that's basically it. Hooking the cocoons and assisting and hooking cocoons, they've just buffed up all the points rewards for that. And that's it. That's the big anniversary update. And this is, it's really underwhelming, okay? You know, you're thinking big anniversary update, you hyped it up on your social media page, you kept saying, okay, we're going to make some big gameplay balance adjustments and stuff. We were expecting potentially new weapons to come to the game, new classes, and all this stuff. Unfortunately, that's just not what happened. This was their moment, okay? With TCM's recent, you know, message saying we're not doing any more content, a lot of people are flooding away from TCM now. They're looking for other ASIM games. A bunch of people have been picking up Killer Klowns, going into the Killer Klowns Discord and saying, oh, I'm having fun with this game. You know, I've came from TCM and all that stuff, you know, just to scratch my itch of an ASIM game because they refuse to play Dead by Daylight. So it's really disappointing for me to see because I've always been a fan of Killer Klowns, the game, honestly. Aside from some issues where, you know, I call it janky and you know, I really dislike some of the practices they did, and you know, just looking back, all the stuff they've been putting in the store, all the, you know, exclusive physical edition stuff that they added to the game, and then, you know, they've put all that into the game now, into the store. It's feeling very cash grabby now. It really is. It just seems like they just want to line the publisher pockets a lot more. And I would like to see a new map. I would, like, with this anniversary, that would have been really nice. Like I said, new classes, new weapons, anything like that would have been great. And for whatever reason, they haven't done it. And, you know, the game's been out for over a year now. They've removed the clown traps. And looking back to that, about the clown traps being removed, we tested those out in the early access, or before early access was a thing. And they, you know, they weren't actually like that broken as a clown trick. You know, you could put them down. I think the problem was, and this happened a lot of the time, was when we put down the clown traps, the game would crash. It would kick a lot of people out. I think that was potentially the problem with the clown traps, and they couldn't like optimize them to the point where they wouldn't crash people's games and stuff. So they were a problem to get them out working in time, I guess. So that's probably why they didn't make it into the game. And everybody kept asking, you know, where's the clown traps? And, you know, why is Trapper Clown not got any new tricks or anything? And their change and solution to that was just to change the Trapper Clown to, what was it, a Hunter now, or something like that. It's, yeah, it's another thing that left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. Ilphonic do some good games and stuff, but the problem here is we have TerraVision and Ilphonic, so usually Ilphonic will take over the publishing side and development side. By the looks of it here, they've just doing the development side of things here, and they're not really doing a lot of decision making. You know, they're not there. They're just there to do their job, basically, and that's it. They're not wanting to innovate much further. If you look at Predator and you look at Ghostbusters, they still put stuff into those games because they own those games outright. You know, both, like, they're the publisher and the developer, I believe, off the top of my head, and anyway. So they have the freedom to do a lot more stuff as well. No, I wouldn't even say this is an IP holder issue either, because, you know, with the amount of skins they've been putting in the game, I don't see how that's affecting there being new maps and all that stuff. And everybody's been asking for the Big Top map like 6 months before the game even come out, and, you know, that's nowhere to be seen. And we did have a recent developer stream for the anniversary update. However, I didn't watch it But somebody in the Discord and Killer Klowns was giving us, you know, some pointers and stuff what they were talking about, and he basically, apparently he said that there was no new content planned or anything like that, so I don't know. And for a development stream, apparently all they were talking about was literally what we've already known, which was in these patch notes. But I can't really comment on that too much because I didn't watch it. I'm just, you know, this is what somebody said in the Discord there. So again, it's a huge disappointment for me for an anniversary update. Again, it's nice that there's some challenges in there, some new challenges, I guess. I don't like the balance changes too much. Like the one on the human side isn't even noticeable, and the LOL has been way overtuned, and hopefully that does get a little bit of a tune into it in the next update, which is probably going to be close to 2.0 now, because this was update 1.9. Maybe's update 2.0 will actually be the one where we're going to get some new stuff like this. If we don't, it's going to be a very bleak future for Killer Klowns, and I can't really see it lasting more than 6 to 12 months, even with the new influx of players. I imagine they're still making quite a bit of money on this game. Like I said, people are picking it up because the TCM's demise, like this was their moment to really put stuff into this game, and keep people wanting to play and keep it attractive to newcomers as well. Once they see, you know, the balancing side of things, and, you know, the lack of classes and the uniqueness for some of the classes as well, that's when people are going to fall off a lot and not wanting to play this much. It's a shame because it is a really fun game. I can sit and play hours of this and, you know, have a good time because it's just funny. That's it, really. It's nothing too serious, but again, it just, you need like a sort of palate cleanser in these games sometimes, something new and something refreshing to really keep you enticed and wanting to keep playing the game. And then, you know, when we've seen all these new challenges come to the game, we're expecting, oh, okay, so we're going to have to get kills with these new weapons or something that's going to come to the game. Just nothing like that happened, unfortunately. Like, probably one of the most mediocre anniversary updates I've ever seen in an ASIM game. It's still better than TCM's anniversary update, I'll say that. But, you know, even looking back at Evil Dead's anniversary update, although they didn't really acknowledge the anniversary because that update came out before the anniversary, which was, you know, we got Brock, we got Baal. They did a Game of the Year edition and stuff like that. You got all the DLC and stuff in there. It was quite a huge update. So yeah, it's a disappointing anniversary update, I'll say that. However, the game is still fun. Probably more on the clown side than the human side, but you still have a blast playing with people. But if you're playing solo, good luck with that, I guess. But thank you guys so much for watching. That has been my review for the Killer Klowns anniversary update. That's a big disappointment, honestly. I wish there could have just been a little bit more put into this. You know, I'm not asking for too much here, and I don't think a lot of people ask for too much, but with the game not really having a big player base, it's probably understandable that they're not really putting a lot of time and effort into actually making gameplay improvements. They're just kind of flooding the shop with skins now, unfortunately. And, you know, it's a shame because I want to really support this game, but even buying these skins and stuff, I want to know that it's a sort of investment that's going to, you know, make a kind of return on gameplay improvements and things, but that's just not really happening right now. So yeah, unfortunately, we don't have a second-year roadmap or anything like that, or we haven't heard any plans that are upcoming for the game. No doubt we'll probably see some more Clowns cosmetics in the very near future. And let's hope they are working on another patch to maybe tune up some of the balance adjustments they've done in this update. Like I said, I don't even notice the lack of energy drinks or popsicles in the game right now. But let me know your thoughts down below on the anniversary update. Do you think it's a game changer? Do you think it's gonna maybe save the game and give it a future? You know, make the game last a bit longer? Or do you think it's just gonna be another one of those Ilphonic games that's just gonna wither out and have a cult player base and that's it? And people are just gonna stick with that. But yeah, it's a shame. You see the potential in the game, how much fun it can be. You know, we got the crossovers in there. We have, you know, Elvira. We got Tom Savini in here. You know, you could have so many more crossovers. You could bring in Ash. You could bring in Stranger Things character. You could bring in so much stuff to this game because you've already done the crossovers and implemented them into the game already. So even seeing skins like that would be kind of cool and bring possibly some new players to the game and more money from the new players. And then, you can make some more adjustments from there. That would be nice, but it's an ideal world. It's a wishful fantasy, and sadly with these ASIM games, it's just not how it works. Just ASIM games now expect the bare minimum effort, unless it's Dead by Daylight, unfortunately. But thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, leave me your thoughts down below. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I've been Pixels, my awesome viewers. I'll catch you guys in the next one.